familiarity, distance. I mean, if you're going to Lithuania, you're going to do a little bit more research. Okay?
If you know you have to go to Grand Junction, Colorado for a wedding in 3 weeks, and you knew that 3 months ago, you would have been hopefully making those plans in advance.
I'll give you an actual number on something.
But they also turn around with regard to the best airfares that they can get to.
There's so many, yeah. Airfares is a part of it. I mean, we go into the whole revenue yield management of how we keep our ADR high and a long time out. You want to book January next year? Oh, our rack's here. You want a discount? No discount. No, it's January. It's 249, 349, whatever. And then come January 7th when our pickup didn't happen. No, Expedia.com, $89 settle. Travel soon. Okay, reverse. And what do we teach our guests? Oh, don't pre-book. You know, we would love to have the stuff on the book, but you know what it is? We're teaching them not to do that. We're teaching them wait because you're going to get a better deal. Which airline gives you a better deal earlier compared to another airline that gives you a better deal later? Anybody know? Delta will give you a discount 30 days out. Southwest will give you a discount within 7 days. Whoever made that ding for Southwest, God, ding! I don't know what's in the ding.
What's your ad here when you said
research period?
Research period.
21 days. For our industry, 21 days before they make a decision. Guess how many hours they spend? Over 11 hours doing research and travel. This is average. Obviously, the distance, familiarity, thing makes variables. For leisure travel. Okay. Now, here's another fun twist. For the Marriotts in the room. We went over and did what's called a durable cookie. We tracked people when they came to our site from our ads and everything else. And Al French is a technical genius in Marriott, but it's buried right now because he has too much to do. They gave us a cookie that lasted 14 days. What we found out was people, when they first ventured onto our site, 5 to 7 days later, came back to our site. 5 to 7 days after they first came to our site. But we left it on. We asked them for a 45-day cookie. We found an interesting trend. 21 to 25 days out, we had 3 times the people come back and book. So what that told us was, we have our short-time bookers. Okay, I got to go someplace, I got to book. 5 to 7 days out. Okay, and then we had our long-term bookers. Does this make not common sense to everybody? It kind of makes sense to what we do. You have 2 types of travelers. Basically, people that got to get somewhere, they got to book, and they got 5 to 7 days to decide it. And then you have the people that are planning something a little bit larger, longer, whatever, and it takes them 21 to 25 days to figure out what they're going to end up doing.
Are most leisure travelers like long-term rather than the short-term, or is there some that fall into that 7 days?
You know what? It tells us 2 things. There's short-term and long-term, because short-term, there's airfares. You know, Spirit, $16 just recently, right?
You can't get a flight.
Can't you go to DC and find a reason? You know? And you know what? People booked at that point. They looked 5 days out because now I got to go to DC. Why? Because I'm paying only $16. What are you going to do there? I don't know, but it's $16. I got to go. You know, it's just that's what I got to do. Okay, see, one slide stays up. We're not even talking about it anymore. Sorry. Okay. Yes, please.
Because of the fact that I believe that the list of airfares and between the 7, 14, and 21 days is very vital to our industry, whether it be fishing business or whatever. Now that they have come up with the added fuel costs, all the airlines now have increased their airfares. During 21 to 45 days, will they not, coming into our season, getting ready, so, I mean, excluding September, but going into, let's say, November into January, February, I mean, won't they be booking further in to see if they can get a better deal because of the airlines trying to garner that business, book early and save themselves some money? The old-fashioned 21-day excursion, pay great,
Sure.
so to speak.
You know, the beauty of this answer that I can give is I can be right or being wrong. You're absolutely right. That can always be the case, but in all honesty, is anybody advertising spring next year specials right now? From the airlines?
No, well, I'm talking in terms of our market down
Sure.
here because of the season. I mean,
But-
look at the name of us.
And right, when it comes springtime, we don't wait, hey, this is the price, or get out of line, there's something behind you. Hopefully that's what it's going to say. But the idea is this. Right now, we're not even advertising for next year. Because in all honesty, next year is next year. And we're worried about the fact that a 7-day window is September. We don't say the H word. Okay? And we hope that nobody really pays attention to the Weather Channel when they see a cloud coming over. That could be a depression. And it's like, great, let's get cancellations. I mean, I was in the Keys for a while. I had a few hotels down there. And Wednesday was the dreaded day. Wednesday's weather. It's going to rain and heat. Because it was going to rain, we got cancellations on Wednesday. You guys have the same thing. We all have. We have the same thing. There's certain keys as to who comes to us. And when those things get hit, we get cancellations, change of plans, or whatever have you. So in answer to yes, you can always go over and say, we should take advantage of it. But as an industry, especially Expedia, anybody knows Expedia's new verbiage? They're going to discount the room. Don't you love that? They now own us. They're going to discount their rates at our hotels. Before it used to be, we're going to find you the best deal. We're going to find you the best rate. Now, we'll discount it for you. Since when did you own the place? But they've taken a possessive stance because now they're battling on rate parity and all the other things we've done to kind of try to balance the scales. They're a marketing firm. Anyway, affiliate advertising. Expedia is a good example. Anybody advertise on ExpediaHotels.com? Yeah. Now we're not going to everything Steve Backer says about anything but afternoon trials. What kind of success did you have with it? Good, bad? Good. What's the bad part of it?
They control that destiny.
Yeah, you have to sell their inventory that you allocate to. So you're already talking 18, 15, 20, 20% of that you're cutting off your value that you offer this product. What's the good side? They advertise the hell out of you. Yeah, excuse me, sorry. All right, affiliate advertising. Anybody advertise in local TV, newspaper, radio, websites yet? Channel 6 has been great for us. Sun Sentinel, Palm Beach Post has been great for us.
We've done TV.
On TV or on the website?
We've done TV on the channel station with regard to the ESPN and also the resident and also the channel station. It's been amazing.
Yeah, you did very deep vein when you do that. The nice part is, and I asked this about the magazine, was the splitting of what they require you to do. Advertising on their websites versus the mandatory having to be advertised in the magazine, newspaper, TV production versus being just on their websites. Anybody knows in the evening news, for this story, and for details on this story and any other stories, go visit WPBF.com. They're shoving business to their websites. Why? Because they have streaming video, they have their advertisers, they have everything on there because they can generate money off of that. So why not be there? I recommend when it comes to the local, going back to the slide, be all over the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce, TDCs, CVBs have tremendously deep pockets, even though they think they have the money, they have more money than us. So, I got that for you. Because of that, there's no reason to compete with them in this space. I mean, they will always be able to outfit us on pay-per-click, they will always be able to outfit us in performance and placement, and so why not just be all, because they're asking us to advertise, let's be advertising all over them. Well, the best thing we ever did was put webcams on our hotels and the keys, and advertise all over FLOkeys.com. The more traffic, more business, but 1/3 of what we would pay to try to compete with them in the same space. Just realize that there's some people who are going to play better than you. Yellow. That's a part of affiliate advertising. All right, affiliate advertising. What are some other venues that you would think would be viable for advertising online? Where do you look? Where do you guys go to search and look around? I'm sorry? White Pages is a good one. Local advertising is good. If somebody's using that service, why not advertise rather than waiting for them to find you? What else? Larry's going to ask you a lot of questions. We'll get at that. TripAdvisor. Okay, you do say something. Anybody advertising at TripAdvisor? TripAdvisor is the 4th largest travel website online right now. 4th largest. Who doesn't know about TripAdvisor? Besides, that's right, we're going to go over it. Anybody kind of familiar with it? No? Okay. TripAdvisor is a consumer-based website that you get to put your opinion about a hotel, destination, whatever. And you can comment and say, I, Loren Gray, think that the Delray Beach Marriott is a good place to stay, and anybody should be here. Here's 5 stars. Okay, so now you're coming to Delray, you come across the Delray Beach Marriott, you look at TripAdvisor, and you have this rating review from me. I'm a consumer. I'm an unbiased person. Wow, Delray Marriott must be a nice place. It looks like a nice place. This guy says it's a nice place. I think I'll stay there. They're expecting that TripAdvisor influences, no exaggeration, Focusrite just did a study, almost 40% of our business right now. One website is inflicting 40% impact on us. And guess what? When you go to TripAdvisor, you can't get to your website. Ever notice that?
Yeah.
It's owned by Expedia.
That's how I got to it. I went to Expedia looking for
and they put their quotes and the information, and yeah, there you go. See, if you go to TripAdvisor and you're looking at your hotel, for those who are in the hotels, and you go to one want to book a room, guess who's advertising all over your information? Expedia, Orbitz, Travelocity, the big boys. Those are the competitors in your space for you, online mostly, okay? So advertise. Put a link there that says, hi, this is the official website of your hotel. Which is also a recommendation I recommend for any campaigns you do. People say, why bid on your own name on pay-per-click, which we'll get to. Why? Because everybody else is, including you. No, this is what's called, kind of still some stuff for you, but anyway. We all, in that sense, compete to each other as to the destination. But everybody's competing on your name. You need to identify yourself as, this is the official website. Because what's the joke of search engines? You're trying to find the website of the hotel, and you got to go through 5 pages of somebody trying to sell you something at the hotel. So you advertise on your name so you can be found. The official website of. Yes?
So isn't that why organic searches are better than paid per click?
Hands down would be great. The unfortunate part of it is organic is not controllable. As much as we can influence organic placement, and does everybody know the difference between organic and pay-per-click? We'll get there. Because you know what? That's a part of the slide we haven't get to, and I'm dragging my feet. Sorry. Told you to talk too darn fast. Brand initiatives represent everything we just talked about. The brands are trying to play catch up, and I can tell you from being on every committee on a brand, they don't know any better. They act like they do because you pay them money, but they don't know any better. They have the same questions, and they have one worse thing. They have to move the whole mountain. They have to move every brand flavor. They have to do everything for everybody, and they have to be as unbiased as possible with everybody in the portfolio, which makes them hard to respond. Okay? Paid placement. Everyone familiar with the term PPC? Not pay-per-clicks, but PPC? Pay-per-click. It's what Google does. Okay? What that happens is you choose words that you think are relevant to you, that you would like to show up for, that people might use to find you, and you pay a cost per each time they click your ad. Okay? So, your website, let me ask you something. Even though you're branded or not, do you have a standalone website? A website that you can control, that you have your content on, that you have your stuff on. It's not a brand site, like your Marriott. It's not going to the Marriott page. It's your own site. Everybody has one of those. Pretty much? Yes? You have to have one. And as much as the brands tell you no, I'm telling you yes. You have to have one. Because you can customize your content. You need to get that information out that they can't put out on their page because they're going to be homogenous. Okay? With that said, pay-per-placement, even if you don't have a standalone site, you need to drive traffic to who you are. So say, for instance, organically, which means you come up because of your content, you are referred to as the Delray Beach Hotel. But if I use the word Delray Beach Resort, I may not be in there. I may not be on the page. How many people, by the way, click past the first page on a search engine result? Yeah, geeks like us do. Okay, not really. 92% of all traffic's on page 1. There's 10 positions on page 1. 8 positions on pay-per-click. You got 18 shots to show up. That's about it. Because then it goes down to 4.5% on page 2. And it gets worse after that. You gotta be on the first page. Okay? So, say for instance I show up organically well for hotel, but don't show up for resort. Guess what I'm going to buy? I'm going to buy the word Delray Beach Resort, so I show up. Because I got to be there too, right? I'm a resort. If I'm a resort, I'm a hotel kind of thing. So you got to buy those words. That's not to say you don't want to buy Delray Beach Hotel. Because when you guys look at search engines, if you see Delray Beach Marriott in the organic section, which I'll show you an example, and then you see Delray Beach referred to a couple more times, what do you think? Oh, that must be the place to go. It's called a trifecta.
So is it the same price on Google for your ad on the top as it is on the side?
No. And there's a strategy to that. For those who are in the industry, I recommend that you bid between positions 6 and 8. Don't go for the number 1 position. Even though the number 1 position has the highest conversion, meaning people click on your ad because they see it, bid between positions 6 and 8. Here's the rationale. And this is a strategy that I use. In pay-per-click, you have a budget. How much am I willing to spend per day? Okay? And then you have a bunch of words that you're bidding on in that budget. Okay? Say it's 100 words. And say, for instance, that each word is 50 cents. Okay? So for $100 a day, you're going to get how many clicks? Let's say 200. Okay. So you're going to get 200 clicks. Now here's the deal. If you look, Delray Beach Hotel gets searched, and there's tools to use it, and I'll show you, 1,000 times a day. There's no way you're going to show up all those times, right? So Google decides mathematically how often you're going to show up. So for those who got paper click, I bought the word, why don't I see myself? Because it's cycling you, so you don't have all of your spend in the first 2 hours at midnight. Okay, you don't have somebody working at the 7-Eleven going, so they mathematically stretch it out, so they show up. So here's the deal. Everybody else is doing what you're doing. No big surprise. Okay? But if you bid your prices between the 6th and 8th position, you're showing up on the first page, and everybody above you that's paying more money, they're running out of money faster. Well, guess what? Have you ever been to a Google page that didn't have a position 1? No. Google moves you up. Okay? So you're paying for being in 6th to 8th, but you're in position 1. And the cool part is, they mathematically calculate this on how much money you have to spend for that day, and how often your word shows up. You actually show up more often than the person paying for the first position, because they have only so much money, and they can't afford to be in that space the whole time. So the moral of the story, not getting too technical, is keep your baskets of words small, position yourself between 6 and 8 for bidding, and keep your budgets according to the words that convert the most. And for those in the industry, you know what I'm saying, and I'll explain it when I show you.
I wish I could believe you. I just not be able to do that. Let me just tell you, I get 60,000 visitors, page viewers a month.
Page views are different than visitors. You need visitors.
Page viewers.
Pages.
60,000 a month. And if I drop it to 6 and I try that time and time again, I get no calls. No calls whatsoever.
I'll tell you something. First off, page views, I would go to unique visitors. Because page views, I can do 100 page views by just going to the website. Because every page I click, that's a view. So that's not a real number of persons, that's just the number of pages I open. And depending on the product, okay, if you need to be in a place because of a certain word, if one word is really converting for you, and you need to be in position 1, you're absolutely right. If you need to be in position 1 for a word, but for a strategy of baskets and words and budgets, don't go for the top positions, because this is what happens. I push people like you out of the position because I outbid. I'll give you an example. In Montreal, we have a beautiful Marriott called the Chapter Champlain, 616 rooms. And the Sheraton was bidding on our name, Chapter Champlain. They're not the Chapter Champlain, they're the Sheraton. Found out that they put our name of our hotel in their keyword basket. I called them up and said, please don't do that. And they're like, different. So, I said, fine. So I took a little basket of their words. Sheraton, Montreal, okay? And I said, you know what, I'm willing to pay, I don't know, $50 a click. And $50 I'll spend. Well, they had our name in a basket of 200 names. And I blew their budget out before 6 a.m. every day. Then I call them up and say, hey, you noticed anything? You're not online. If you want to keep doing this, I'll keep doing this, and it costs me less than it's costing you. So there are times that being in position 1 for a product, because the word is so converting, because having the views and the traffic, what are you truly doing? Is it you measuring it by calls, phone calls? What's the correlation? Okay, so do you have a track code that brings you all the way down that says this keyword was used, that brought me to this website, that gave me this much revenue? Then you're doing it right. If that's what you're saying you're getting for traffic, and if you don't, then that's what you need to do. But as a basket campaign, I would not recommend that.
The problem is that Google goes 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 15,000 a month, 18,000 a month, 20,000 a month. Where does it go?
Don't measure it by the volume of traffic. Doing that, that's dangerous, because traffic is a smoke and mirror number. It doesn't, it's the conversions. If you're saying that you're tracking all the way down to the revenue, not by sheer display. If I go and put an ad in the newspaper and I go up in business and correlate that must be what happened, if you're doing that, that's bad, because you're inferring that that's where the revenue came from. If you're telling me by tracking, by software that's out there, that tracks this keyword to my website, that my analytics show brings me this much revenue because of a code on a promotion or a code on a special, then stick to your strategy. It's working. But if it's just by traffic relationship, I would question the actual conclusion of it as a strategy. Anyway, yes?
You're talking fast and I'm drinking, so let me ask you a question. Are you buying keywords from your competitor set?
Of course.
And are you converting?
Absolutely.
Is there a way to track that?
Absolutely. I'll show you some tools. All right, we got the paid placement thing now. Okay. That point actually was just to make sure that you choose words relative to your market segment. Keep in context with the categories of leisure, corporate, and group. You buy keywords that are related to your market. Obviously, if you're talking about attractions and events, that's leisure. If you're talking about meeting capacities, conference destination, you're talking about group, that's what that was. This is the fun one. Everybody know what a blog is? Who has a blog? Madeline, yes, blog. Blog. Anybody know what it stands for? Weblog. 40,000 new blogs, not posted blogs, new blogs a day go up. What are you talking about? 40,000. You can anything you want to talk about, blogs for. I like yellow cats that run through fields blog.com. I mean, it's that diverse. It's all personal blogs that people discuss and talk about. Ooh, yeah, strange people. Be careful what you search for. Okay, blogs, business-wise, bring it back to us. What's a blog good for? What do you, has anybody played with blogs, looked at blogs, read blogs? What do you think it's good for? I know you have one, so what do you use it for?
It's a way that we can sort of be editorial without making it look like we're sponsoring.
Okay. We're salespeople. Hi. Good to see you. Hi. But that's in sales. What about the personal dialogue? What about the ability to communicate issues and things that aren't selling something? Yeah, you're selling something, but you're not selling something. Remember that commercial about FedEx? You know, that one, oh, we could go to FedEx to save $100. And the guy goes, well, I know what we do. I said the same thing. Yeah, but I didn't. The idea is that a blog is an open dialogue. It allows you to talk about things in a format, not necessarily a casual format, but in a way to your guests. Hey, just want to let you know, we just did a great special at the spa. It's coming up great. It's called Pamper Me Please Package. It has this, and this, and we got some great comments about it. It's not a sales thing. I mean, yeah, it's sales, but it's not like Pamper Me Please Package. It includes the following, right? It's a dialogue. What we also use it for is, there's a lot of consumer sites like TripAdvisor. I Go, You Go, and a bunch of others. Roamers has them. They all have them, okay? And a lot of times you can't compete at that level. I can go to your hotel and say it stinks. I never stayed there, you can't prove it, and now when you go to TripAdvisor, there's my comment, that hotel stinks. Well, the consumer doesn't know that. They think there's some magic little elf that makes sure that this is all real and truthful stuff, okay? And they don't know that I'm the salesperson at the competing hotel giving you bad marks. We use our blog to say, hey, Mr. Smith stayed at our hotel, and we don't know what happened to him. We never contacted us like he said. We use it as a form. We actually post our TripAdvisor stats on there. Our rankings, we're number 2 in a field of 64 and stuff. Why not? You know, it's like going to a food, restaurant that says we got a 98 on our health score. Okay? We allow that conversation going. Any news release, that's news. Put it in our blog. A more vague one, RSS, really simple syndication. Any familiarity with that? RSS is really cool. In 98, and whoever had email in 98, remember it was cool? If I want to send you an email, you got it. There was no spam, filching, whatever. You know, no penicillin from the computer. It's like, you gave me your email, I sent you an email, you got it. And now it's like, I sent you an email, oh yeah, my spam filter, firewall, personal name. Don't have it. Sorry. And we use that as an excuse. Oh no, firewall. Sorry, I can't get that one. Sorry, Mr. Pete. Anyway, RSS is good because it's like magazines. I like Time Magazine, so I subscribe to Time Magazine. When I'm tired of Time Magazine, I'll unsubscribe. Unfortunately, they make me subscribe for 12 months. RSS is, you have a great article. And I found it on the website. Oh, hey, favorites. On your web browser, you have favorites? Why do you have favorites? So you go back again, right? And now you got to go back to it and see if there's anything new. If I want to go back to it, I don't remember that facility URL. RSS is like that. You have an article I like what you're talking about, it's about whatever, hotels or whatever, I subscribe on my newsreader. Anytime you put a new posting up on your RSS, it comes to my newsreader. I'm reading what I want to read. I'm not reading at everybody else's stuff, whatever spam and junk I'm getting to my email. I'm reading about things I'm interested in. Okay? That's RSS, which is Southwest Ding. All the Southwest Ding is an RSS reader that lets you know when they posted something new. Brilliant use of it, because our other RSS readers will get a bunch of these. This is just one thing. Every time we update this, you get a ding. And people actually live on that ding for what's going on. In mind of that, anybody familiar with podcasts? Ever hear of them? They're audios. I'm doing a podcast now, I'm recording it. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on as a podcast. And I got people that subscribe to my podcast. And what that is you're on your computer and you subscribe to my podcast just like an RSS news feed, and you play my audio. It could be a 1-minute thing, it could be a 30-minute thing. There's online radio stations. You know there's online TV stations now? They're actually, ABC, Budweiser are actually doing their own TV shows online. What's called vlogs, video vlogs. And I'm looking for a one-legged Hindu that's looking for kosher Tex-Mex in Amish country. Okay?
On Saturday.
Which we all are. Think about it. I'm looking for a traffic. I'm soft in September. I got rooms to fill. Okay? So I'm looking for somebody that's interested in coming to Florida, South Florida, stay in my hotel during hurricane season, that has no kids at school's back, that has expendable income and wants to do where my hotel's located. Am I not looking for the one-eyed Hindu and how much country looking for kosher Tex-Mex? I mean, there's a lot of qualifiers there, right? This is yours plug tonight. Travel Zoom. Already killed most of those criteria. I got a travel interested person that is subscribed to follow information about travel. Don't know where they're going yet. That's why they're kind of looking. But at least I know they're interested in travel. I use the heck out of it. And I'm embarrassed to say I'm going to make up because it probably raised the rate on. But anyway, podcasts are the same thing. RSSs are the same thing. You are giving somebody what they want. If you're interested in Picasso pictures, and you find somebody that writes about it and knows about it, and you like what they write, you subscribe to it, you're seeing his feed every time he updates something. If he has a podcast, you're going to listen to it because he's talking about something you're interested in. Well, gosh, if somebody's subscribing to a travel iPodcast or a travel RSS and I can put an advertisement in or talking about my property, haven't I got that one-eyed Hindu and Amish country? You know, I found that one person that I was looking for what I have. I don't have to. What's the old joke about advertising? Oh, only 50% of the people that see the ad are buying from it. I just don't know which 50%. Well, I'm talking to the one person out of 100,000 that is interested in what I'm selling. That's what these tools use. This is the PR of it all. Anybody use PR releases? Yeah, I'm going to do this. Okay? What do you use? What do you do? Well, how do you get a PR release out?
Give it to my PR company.
Excellent choice. Okay, what are some online vehicles for PR? Anybody know?
Hotel online, business wire.
Those are particular, what's called content vertical feeds, travel vertical feeds, yes. Anybody hear of Business Wire? PR Wire? PR Web. I'll tell you the difference between all three. One's almost free, one's really expensive, one's okay. PR Web is good for putting information out that's like a shop ad. Boom, I got something going on. It can be an infomercial kind of thing. And you can pay depending upon the exposure. Google News. Anybody go to Google News? Ever go there? It's a function that they have. You can look at just news related to Google. You look up a subject and all the news related to it. I put something on PR Web. It's up in 45 minutes on Google News. So if I'm a reporter looking for food information on Florida, okay, and I go to Google News, I'm going to see my PR release. Business Wire, the most expensive option. We did one for Jupiter Beach Resort. Okay, I'll tell you the story. Flying back from San Jose, I was at a conference out there, and I got caught in that wonderful time where I left and I could carry little plastic bottles. And on the way back, I couldn't carry plastic bottles. I called it the day that the bins were empty. It was an amazing thing. The whole airplane, all the top bins were empty. I never had seen that before. Everybody got on nicely, they got off nicely, spent an hour at the luggage pickup, but everything was smooth before that. Anyway, I called the Jupiter Beach Resort and I said, hey, we have all this junk, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, don't we all have this junk? Oh, if you forgot something behind, I mean, Holiday Inn's been doing it for how many years? If you leave something behind, I got your toothpaste. So we're making smoke out of mirrors, okay? And I said, the only thing we're missing is eye wash and hairspray, right? I was like, yeah, so we'll go to the corner store and get it, we'll throw a PR release out. Okay? I put it on PR Web, and I put it on Business Wire. It cost me $550 to put it on all major metro areas. And this, you can be very particular. You can actually send it to the Slavic newspaper in Estonia if you want to. But we put it on major metro areas in the U.S. It cost me $550 under travel subject category. I got picked up by CNN, another 38 news publications, Treasure Coast, Trade Table publications. Oh, by the way, Channel 25 came out, WPBF, did the 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock news at the hotel. Who would want to pay $550 for that? It was just timing. Everybody's doing it. As you imagine, look at the corner, yes,
did you, hear what, Crest is doing?
Yeah, they got the little bags for the rental cars.
Yeah, they.
Yeah, they get a little bag with your rental car, they got all the little stuff, and they got national coverage. GMA had it today.
Yeah.
It's all on
Yeah.
television.
Yeah, Weston's doing good with it. Wyndham was, actually, I was kind of just this Wyndham beat me.
Reefer had his whole thing on this morning.
Yeah.
It's also.
Wyndham beat me and Omni beat me. I did it Friday morning, and by Saturday morning, they already had theirs out. I copied their PR release. I didn't.
I was gonna say, the person that you said Omni, but I remember like, frequent state programs and whatever, and Omni was the first one of all them that sent all their preferred
Yeah.
state members a little email, and it was out, I mean, moments after.
And PBF picked it up for us because it was a national. Here's the criteria for PR.
And we're gonna have all this stuff at the hotel, and don't worry about it, whatever you need.
Don't worry, we have it for you. A national problem with a local spin will get you immediate PR. Because the TV stations want to show the local angle. The newspaper stations want to show the local angle. So here's a local PR release that's being put in front of reporters. By the way, the whole way rec PR releases is changing. It's no longer just for journalists. It's kind of advertising, marketing in there too. But anyway, you get it in front of them, and now they say, well, Jupiter Beach, let's go out there. Let's get a camera crew out there. Let's shoot some local footage real quick and throw it on 6 o'clock. You know, we're the top station. We got to do this. $550. I couldn't buy that. It would cost me a lot more than that to get on there. That's PR. That's on the line. That was us doing it through communications that way. Blogs are the same thing. Podcasts are the same thing. Video now, being able to post a video like we talked about, getting it on your website. I can show you. Let's get through a bunch of other tools first. I can show you how we have on the top the blog where we have dialogue and the videos there. You play the video and there's coupons. Google, picture this for food and beverage. We're doing it for our restaurants right now. On Google Maps, which more and more people are using, because MapQuest, I don't know what you guys do, but you go a long way. On the little balloons that pop up on those little pins, okay, they now have coupons you can print at the bottom. You click it and you print it. That cool? So I'm looking at restaurants, and my restaurant's in there, and I have a 2-for-1 special or 40% off. They click it and they can print it, and Google gives you a unique tracking code that will tell you, down to the coupon, how they found you. So you can track it to know what worked well.
How does Google know what website to put on that Google map?
I give it to them. That hotellocaldirectory.com thing, they feed all that stuff. Google Maps, Yahoo, MapQuest, they feed all that information to them. So you fill it in one spot, it goes out to all of them. And then you go to Google when you do your pay-per-click account with them, which I can show you how to do that. You want to say a print coupon on the bottom of it, you put the link and everything. Another company I want to make sure you pay attention to is a company called Ice Portal, which is what we had today. Fernando was looking at. What we do is we go to this Ice Portal, it's made out of Boca. They come in and they take your pictures of your hotel. Everybody has pictures of the hotel, right? But they're usually out of date or you paid all the time. These guys are very affordable, like $1,500. They do all the 360s and everything. 12 of them with all the photos and all that stuff. And maybe doesn't nobody quote that price. Skip that, it's cheap. Anyway, he then puts it on a source, okay, that is tapped into by all of the search engines, Google, Yahoo, AOL, Ask. He also feeds all the GDSs. How many of you have not found a travel agent website that had the oldest information or the most inaccurate information about you and the oldest picture since dirt? And you're like, where'd they get this stuff? They got it from GDS. Sabre, Amadeus, and all that. They keep this data for their agents, and that's what gets pulled in from the travel agents. Well, this Ice Portal company will update all that information. One stop. You fill in all the information, all the pictures, and they feed it to these guys. So all of your search engines have all the most recent pictures and content that you have. All of your GDSs have all the most recent information and content that you have. All of the travel agents, okay? All of the people have the updated. It's that consolidation. Like I said, Hotel Local Directory or localhoteldirectory.com, Ice Portal. These are the people that are providing that one stop. I ain't got time to chase 15 vendors down. Things to do. Okay, I digress. Anyway, not me. No tangents here. Okay, anybody do live chat on their websites ever? No. Hardly anybody uses it. Everybody loves it. Hilton did it on theirs. Holiday Inn has it now. Hilton found out that 6% of the people on the website actually used it. 78% of the people, however, love the feature there. You know what they saw it as? A reach out from the property, saying, you know, we care so much about our interaction with you, we're willing to make a vehicle for you to contact us directly, not having to dial an 800 number or something like that. And it gave them the chance to go directly to the hotel. We're using it as a neat feature. Now tell me if you think this is cool. You know how when you get your confirmation letter printed out from where you're going somewhere, right? You print it out and carry it with you, right? As well, you gotta, when you land at the airport or something, you got to have the phone number and confirmation and stuff. We put a little link. Oh, everybody has one of these, right? Okay. This is called small screen technology. If anybody has a web-enabled phone, it doesn't work too well. You're scrolling all over the place. You can't get to where you want. It's difficult. It doesn't open up things up all the time. Okay. Well, there's something coming along that it's going to make it a lot happier. But there's a small screen that you can do right now that you make a web page that fits this thing. Now, I have what's called click to chat. What that means is you can either chat or you can click the button and I call you on your phone. So, on our confirmation letter we sent you says, if you have a web-enabled phone, please go to this link and store it, and you won't have to print out this letter. Because on it will be a link that goes to Google Maps that has my address and it shows you right where I am on a map. You can say I'm at the airport and it will tell you how to get to me if you're renting a car. If you want me to call you, you hit click to call, and the hotel's calling you. Hi. Jupiter Beach Resort, how can I help you? Well, I'm at the airport, because you know when you land, you turn your phone on right away, you know, and you can say, I'm coming into the airport, and can I get limo service, taxi service, whatever, and say, oh, yes, sir, we'll take care of it right away. I don't have to carry all the papers and stuff around. That's very cool. We've actually got some fun with that. Anyway, that's a fun one. Okay, that was another tangent. Sorry. Website development. What are some things that you like on websites, travel sites? What gets you to go someplace? Feel like I can make a postcard? Ever do that? Stay at a hotel? Oh, how many people get email addresses? Email addresses. Not the brand, because they never give them to you. They'll use them for you, but you gotta get your own. But getting email addresses is gold. Absolute gold. I had a problem getting email addresses at one of our Hiltons on the West Coast, on Key Hilton. But we had this parrot in the lobby. So I thought, wow, everybody loves getting their picture with a parrot. So let's set a camera up. Get your picture with a parrot, send it whoever you want to. Just give me their email address. Got a lot of email address. There's software out there. This company called ZDirect. They're handling our database now. And I'm giving away a heavenly bed for the West End of Key West. Seems like the thing to do. They started the whole craze anyway. As an introduction, that West End is now Key West. Well, you sign up, and I ask you 4 little silly questions. When do you think we'll travel? You know, do you bring your family? What time of year do you travel? That kind of stuff. And you enter in to win. And by the way, we'll send you some more information afterwards. If you have anybody that you want to also enter, put their names down, and you get more chances. Okay? And if you come back, you can enter in as many times as you want. Well, the thing is, that software is looking at my PMS database. And if I stayed at that hotel, all my property guest ledger information, my address, where I'm from, where I stayed, what I bought, what restaurant I went to, now gets added to my information database. And if I go back, I get 4 new questions based on how I asked the first 4 questions. So if I like traveling in the summer, like going golfing, then maybe would you prefer a package that does such and such, or a good spa, whatever. Now, picture yourself, Monday, your group fell out this weekend, you got the attrition, that's cool, but you still got an empty hotel. It's going to be a drive market, probably no more than 250 miles, because nobody wants to go more than 4 hours out of their way. We have to offer a great deal. You know, the spa's kind of empty, so who would we go that has used our spa, stays within 250 miles, is willing to take this deal, and isn't staying at our hotel this weekend? Let me send them an email. That's what it does. And it's there now. It's not what if, not what kind of. It's there now. That's cool. It's a neat tool. Okay. All right, some examples. This is the Chateau. We'll just blow through these because I want to show you links of places to look for products and things that will help you with this whole process. This is the Chateau. This was our standalone site. Now, we're Marriott. We have our Marriott site on Marriott, but we have our standalone site. We have it in languages. How many people would like to have another language website? Do you need it? I don't know about you guys looking at your stats, but Miami feeds my hotels viciously. And there is a lot of affluent, Hispanic, preferable, native language. Not that they don't know how to speak English, not that they don't have a preference, but it's nice to address them more directly. Okay? Well, in this case, we had to because it was in Quebec, and to Quebec go, it had to be in French. But anyway, that was our current ad. When we talk about affiliate advertising, you're not immune to it. You should be advertising your own specials on your own website. I had a jazz thing going on. Okay? This was my pride and joy. This was, you filled in your dates. And I filled in the dates at the Marriott Res page for you, with a little functionality, right? And being timing, I figured, well, that's information I have on you now, isn't it? Anybody like pop-ups? You know, by now, you're like, no, I don't want this. Okay, well, we made a pop-up. And this was knowing nobody likes pop-ups. But this little pop-up did a great thing. Travel, picture this. You're going to go to Seattle. You got to go for business, right? You got an extra day before your flight comes back. You already got that all figured out. So you got an extra day to kill in Seattle. You've chosen the hotel you're going to stay in Seattle, and what's there to do? What do? I got a day to kill. What do? Go to search engines, find a website that's related to the place, see what's going on. Well, we thought, heck, we already know when you're coming, so why don't we tell you what's going on? Oh, by the way, we have to have a package that's related to what's going on, too. Actually, not all of them had packages, but what we said was, hey, you're coming July 1st through 3rd, just to let you know as a courtesy, this is what's going on in the city. And we have a package with this if you'd like. If you don't, that's okay. It's a Jazz Fest, no big deal, cheap price stuff. And you click on it. Now, the original page now changes to the Jazz page, and the window opens up to your reservation with your dates already in, and the code for your Jazz package. Don't want you to have to break your digit finger when you're typing this stuff in. So this tripled our package sales. Hands down, no qualms about it, this tripled our business on package sales. Because what we were doing was providing service. We were saying, you know what? We know when you're coming, so let's tell you what's going on. Because you're going to have to figure that out anyway after you figure out that you booked a reservation with us, so why not tell you? What else do we do here? Oh, yeah. That was, this here, we had to do for those branded hotels, and even independents have to do this. We had a terrible thing happen, and that is, everybody came to our website because we did a good job of marketing it, and then they left and went to Marriott.com. Why do you think they did that? It looks like the right website, but you know what? Unless I manually type in the Marriott.com, you just don't know. Just don't know. Got to go to Marriott.com. So we called it confidence transference. One was made up name, didn't see the word. What we did was try to validate that we really were the Marriott. Honest to God, we're the Marriott. So we had to become more Marriott-ish. We had to put, you know, click here for reservations, Marriott, use the logo. So you guys would look at it and say, you know, it must be Marriott, because Marriott would stop these people, right? If it didn't have, you know, if it wasn't the Marriott. So we had to go and put that in. Same thing there. This was our Jazz page. We call it an orphan landing page. What that means is, on the website, when you're just looking at it, there's no link to this page, unless you click that ad. It's not in the nav bar and stuff like that, because it's clutter. For those who've been around in a while, remember when websites first came out? Everything. You had to put everything on it because you didn't know why they were coming to your website. And you ever go to those websites? You ever go to a website, you're like, whoa, what am I supposed to click on here? It's got everything, and more than I want. The average length of time on a website is how long? You're right, it's seconds. 7 seconds. And guess what? They have the finger on the trigger. It's called a mouse. Oh, no, didn't see what I want. As a recommendation, we have found, and it's actually proven through some studies, if you have an ad, best rate, best location, you better bring them to a page that re-emphasizes that message. Best rate, best location. If you bring them to your index page, people can do great marketing and bring them to your home page, and has nothing to do with what brought them there. So if you're going to spend the money for an advertisement that brings them to you, bring them to a page, an orphan page, that's what brought them there. We also found that people that find your ad on Google are more factual. You don't give them the fluffy stuff. You know, great, luxurious accommodations. No. I'm looking for Delray Beach Hotel. Click. I'm a Delray Beach Hotel. Matter of fact, I'm the best Delray Beach Hotel. And this is why. Very factual. Okay? If you're doing pay-per-click advertising, be more factual. If you're doing affiliate advertising, like banners and stuff, be more sales-ish. But always relate to the content of what brought them there. Okay? Anyway, this is orphan landing page. How many people like opening up a web page and music starts? I hate it too. I was wrong. Okay. Since this was the Jazz page, asking them to turn on the music missed the value of the page compared to turning off the music. We did A/B testing, which is a whole other thing to talk about, but A/B testing. We'll try one, we'll try another, see which one you like. Well, we found out that people wanted the music to play when they came to it, because this flash animation in there was going along with music. It reinforced the message. Flash window, did the same thing with you. Confidence transfers, that's the same thing we talked about. This is the Marriott, okay? Authentication, we were the actual sponsor of an event, so people related it to us. All the things you and I take for granted when we're looking at stuff, okay? We see this in a split second. If I'm looking for the Montreal Jazz Fest, I've already seen the poster somewhere, maybe, okay? And if I haven't, then I have now, and this must be the poster, okay? So all those components have to be a part of bringing them to this page. Okay, how much time we got? What are we doing? 5 minutes? Okay. We'll breeze through this. Okay, traffic tracking on your website. Who looks at their website traffic? For those that stand on the sites, who you stop freezing your Anybody else look at the traffic on the website?
Well, through other people, yeah.
Okay. Geographic, you can tell where they're coming from, what pages they looked at, how long did they stay, where did they click, where did they leave. More information that you can even want to look at. You can paint yourself in the corner. Cool part is, you get to know your feeder markets. You know how much it freaks, well, not for anarchies and bills and everything, but when I call up a hotel saying, yeah, a lot of people come from Philadelphia this time. How'd you know? Yeah, well, we found out that a lot of people in the second week of February, second week of February from Philadelphia were looking at your website, and 21 days later we got a lot of bookings for you, and they showed up the first week of March, and they stayed about 2.5 days. Is that about right? Oh my God, yeah, how'd you know that? Because we are, no. The website did, yes?
We find that information is skewed because, like, all of our AOL users are from Virginia, because that's where AOL is.
What software are you using?
Live stats.
Yeah. Get away from web trends and live stats. And also weblog. Yeah, don't. Get Google Analytics if you can, because the interface with your AdWords is great. Okay, because they're the same company now. And the other is HubX, Hitbox. ClickWise is great too, but wickedly expensive. Like $15,000 just to talk to them expensive. So they're way over, but they're really good information if you need that kind of stuff. Hitbox will tell you where they click. If you look at these stuff, this tells me this was the number 2 click, 229 people based on those dates I chose. Clicked on that button. It's kind of helpful stuff. Where'd they go? What are they looking at? Where'd they come from? Okay? And now analytics are advanced to tell you what words brought them there, from what campaigns you have, from pay-per-click, all that fun stuff. Okay, another example. Page statistics. Here's Urchin. There you go. This is a map they show you. They'll actually show you down to the city and your DMA, but it tells you where people came from when they went to your website. This is like the dashboard showing you most of the stuff. Okay? But that's statistics. We have found magic, and then no exaggeration, when we plug in what we know about what the website's doing, traffic-wise, with what the property knows it's doing, guest-wise. Amazing. When we find out that we're getting people, here's the deal. I want to advertise and get people in September. Well, who comes to Florida in September? Honestly, who comes to Florida in September? Tell me.
Empty nesters.
Who?
Empty nesters.
Empty nesters. Who else?
Meeting delegates.
Meeting delegates, tail end second quarter people, and that have third quarter people that have meeting space to burn, knowing they can get group rates. Who else?
Latin Americans.
Hmm? Latin Americans. Okay. End of September, you get your Western Europeans because the weather's changed enough. They come over. Okay. Who else? Canadians. Believe me, I have 37 properties in Canada, and they're all complaining about the fact that the dollar's so freaking. They're all coming down to us, and they're running empty. Okay, you got dumb people coming down, and they come for bargains. They're Canadians. And September's a good time for it. The booking window's still short, but those are the kind of people, right? Well, rather than advertising to Canada, wouldn't you like to advertise at Toronto, because that's where they came from? And you can tell from this. They're looking at Toronto at you right now. Well, what's better yet? Your co-ops. For everybody that should be doing co-ops, okay? You're doing a co-op in the Cincinnati newspaper. Woo! Okay? What happens? Reality. You guys have the Sunday paper. You open it up, you look at the travel section, you see the ads. What would happen if you also got an email from a travel thing such as, I don't know what travel that was talking about offers in Florida, that was going to Cincinnati, because you could target them. Okay? And when they're looking for advertising co-op destinations in Florida, they see you. And when they're looking for news articles, they see you. Okay? Isn't that reinforcing the idea that you must be the place to go to? Well, you're advertising in Cincinnati. We've had great success with when co-op goes over and advertises in an area, we advertise all around it. I mean, you're already paying the money to be there. I mean, unless you're just doing it to say I advertise in Cincinnati, you want results. So advertise around with all the other things we're talking about. Anyway, 2 minutes of counting. More stats. Okay, position ranking report. Does the same thing. There's a Web Position Gold is a good software. What that does is, I want to know how you're doing against me. So I'll put in words that are related to me. This software would tell me who else shows up. Who am I competing against online? Okay, and how well are they being found, rank-wise, compared to me? Okay, that's position ranking. I do this every day. I want to see how we are. There's things called visibility indexes. I get it. Jupiter Beach has a visibility index of almost 34%, which means 1 out of 3 people looking for anything related to Jupiter, Florida, anything, see an ad or see my listing.
What's
Pretty good.
that?
What's that?
What is that?
That is called Web Position Gold. That's a software. $29. You buy it, you own it, gives you updates. Okay? It will tell you more than you need to know. It'll tell you who ranked in the top 10 positions for a word. So in other words, you may not have shown up, but it'll tell you who did. It'll also tell you if you went up, you went down. Okay? Let's see. What else we got? Oh, there, yeah. Same type of information, how I showed up on certain words, who showed up on certain words. Let's see. Bid ranking. You don't want to mess with all this. Okay? I can tell you that Jupiter Beach, Monday and Tuesday, has the highest traffic. People are seeing my website mostly on Mondays and Tuesdays. Does that make sense? Because people are off the weekend and they're yet planning their next weekend perhaps or whatever. So I get a lot of traffic on the website Monday and Tuesday. First rule of advertising, be where the people are. Why am I going to spend money all the time the same way, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, when everybody's not looking at the same time? So I'd much rather increase my bids, which will increase my positioning within that, where it's a good time to be higher, okay? When people are looking for me the most, and turn it down in the evening when I got the guy at 7-Eleven with the slushy going, I don't know, let's just push the button. So you're in front of people that are one to buy. I use this software called Bid Maximizer that I do just that. I want you to bid this high during these days for these hours and turn it off this time or turn it lower than this time. So I get the most out of my money. So if I'm there on Mondays and Tuesdays, because that's what people are looking for, if I'm doing a campaign in Cincinnati, and you can actually bid for keywords in Cincinnati that, if I'm in Cincinnati and I use Florida hotels, which we know is a big word, I mean, if somebody's using the term Florida hotels, they don't even know where in Florida they're going yet, right? Compared to Delray Florida hotels. But it's an expensive word, but sometimes you want to play there. I can say anybody in Cincinnati that uses Florida hotels, I'll bid. And it's 25 cents compared to $5 if I did it globally. So if I'm doing campaigns in Cincinnati, I bet Cincinnati with those keywords, I get bigger words, more exposures, want to spend more money. Guess who they find? Me. Okay? More examples of word prices over here. Competition report. These guys, if you remember any other website, besides Travels, it was okay. But anyway, Ad Guru. I'm not trying to sound egotistical with this, but I kick everybody's butt with this. Ad Guru will tell me who's on what words. I put the words in that I want to find out about, and they tell me all everybody's advertising. What their ad looks like. If you look down at the bottom, which you can't read where you're at, it actually shows me the person's ad. This is the #1 person's ranked ad for this word, and I'm looking at their ad. Why reinvent the wheel? Copy them. Steal them.
Would that be true for virtually any industry?
Anything. Anything. I go into a market. We buy new hotels. I take this software, see who's there, see what they're doing, see who ranks the best, take their keywords, because this software will tell me the words they're using. And then I go do my own research, see how popular they are, how expensive they are, and then kick them out of their own market. Sorry, Ritz-Carlton. I mean, you're a refurb, somebody had to get the business. But anyway, this software is deadly in marketing. Because what this is telling me is, I know what you're doing, I know what you're spending, and I know what you're using. So I will find the best out of all of it, put it together, and use it. Remember that's AdGuru, AdGuru.com.
But that doesn't show where they're spending maybe some of their banner, where they're spending on those.
That's another software called Keyword Discovery. Actually, another link report. Links are critical. We didn't even get into those. Having links to places that are related to you is very critical. Google uses them a lot to move you up in the organic listings to show up better for searches. There's a software called Aurelius that you can put it by keyword, who's linking to you, who links to your competition, and you say, you know what, Ritz-Carlton's kicking my butt. Who links that? Get them all. And you send them a little email from this software that says, please link to me. I'll link to you if you link to me. And you make a little page for it. And now you're as popular with the links as the Ritz-Carlton. I don't think it works. Okay, that's a website called alexandra.com. It's called a Willis software. To put this in the best terms possible, because you've got to bring something home. And we'll end it with this, and we can show more stuff afterwards if you're interested in answering questions. Everybody's familiar with the marketing media plan, right? We made the mistake when we first started doing e-commerce of putting it in e-commerce terms. Pay-per-click, links, web development. And GMs who are worried about housekeepers, clean rooms, and GSS scores really don't have time to get an education on this stuff. They're looking to you to do it. But you can put it in terms that they understand so they can give you the information that you need to sell them. And that magic is a media plan. Everybody's familiar with media plans, right? You got the calendar on the top, January 1st to December 31st. And then on the side, you have all the media you're going to do. Newspaper here, TV here, brochure produced here. Remember? Not too far away from the old days. Well, we do it with e-commerce. What I have is, I'm telling you when I'm going to turn on a keyword campaign based on events, activities, with calendars, what I'm going to do for advertising, links, brochures, PR releases, all that stuff in a media plan. When it goes on, when it goes off, how much we're spending. And you know what? GMs understand that. Property owners understand that. Salespeople use it. Because now they know, I have this going on this week, next week I got to get prepared for this, and now it makes sense. So that's what you got to bring back. You got to bring back that all the stuff we talk about, how cool it is to do this, that, and the other thing. It's all great, blogs are wonderful, podcasts even better, whatever. Translate it into languages that everybody understands. Without it, you just got great information that you're not going to get money for, nobody's going to pay attention to you until they come back to you screaming at you like, why didn't you sell something? Okay? And that, besides going off into la la land, I can go 2 more hours, whatever you want to talk about. But anyway, that's it. Thank you, and thanks for putting up with the whole. Sorry. No, she said I got to come up here with you. I got to stand up at the side with you.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I sure took away a lot from that, especially that somebody's favoring Jupiter over Hollywood.
There's definitely.
But on behalf of HSMAI and everybody here tonight, we want to thank you for a very informative presentation. I do know you could go on for a couple more hours, but I think for those of you that know Loren or have had the opportunity one way or another to benefit from his experience, I can tell you, as I said earlier, a lot of our success is due to this. And all these little tips and tricks that sound maybe even a little gadgety, they work, and they work a lot. I can tell you, we're having a tremendous summer because of it. So, Loren, thank you again, and we have a little gift for you here. From HSMAI, thank you very much.